Have you ever been in a situation where after a long time of working, you took the desired vacation time off and got sick? Have you ever experienced a discomfort in your stomach as a reaction to stress? Do you suffer from skin problems? What about chronic problems such as back pain, neck pain, knee problems, or adrenal fatigue, known as chronic fatigue or ME? Welcome to today's episode. I'm Kirstyn Marriott, and today we're going to look at what is disease, how we can use medicine to tune into our body's wisdom. Anything that your body goes through has its source. So let's take a marathon runner. After the run, he's quite sore. However, he also regenerates to full health. What if he didn't? Then the problem would become chronic. Chronic problems are unfortunately treated like every other kind of problem. Let's take down the intensity of the symptoms and pray for recovery. If there's no recovery, then we've done what we could. Keep taking painkillers and antidepressants just in case and hope for better days. Did the body make a mistake? And by a mistake sentence the sufferer for a chronic problem? What if the body is trying to communicate something to the owner? That's what medicine is addressing, the communication between the body and the owner. So let's look at the most common model of disease process. A patient gets sick, so for whatever reason, weather, contact with sick people, genetics, and develops symptoms which are not pleasant. Culturally, we learn that for whatever reason, we're sick. We need to see a doctor because the body is not able to recover itself. We need to alleviate the symptoms by changing biochemical environment of the patient's organism and with various medications. The whole process lasts about 2 weeks for a regular flu. So there are a few conclusions drawn from this model. A disease is a mistake of an organism. We are unable to heal ourselves. The patient needs to be medicated to get better. Bacteria, viruses, germs, and fungal cause diseases. Is nature so stupid to let us evolve with this system of failures? What if the body doesn't make a mistake every time we get sick? What if there's a direct connection between the sickness and the circumstances of our lives at that time? Nature gave us a process to help us survive. So let's take an example of a rabbit and a hunting dog. A rabbit is calmly hopping in the paddock, munching away until it notices or senses the dog running after it. It starts to run for its life. So after a moment of running, the rabbit notices that there's no dog anymore. It can stop and relax its muscles. The rabbit will check once again if the threat is gone and goes back to normal functioning. This is a very similar process that happens to people. So the medicine model of disease consists of 6 elements. A trigger known as a UDIN, perception. So a UDIN perception. This is a stress phase, a shift moment, a release, a change in perception. Then there's a restoration phase known as the present model as disease. There's the healing crisis, normalization. So let's have a look at that a little bit more closely. So the first one, the UDIN perception, that stands for unexpected, dramatic, isolating, and a no strategy perception. It's usually linked to an event that happens around us. The most figurative would be a car accident. When it happens, it's never expected. It's always quite dramatic. Everyone involved goes through it on its own, and there's usually no strategy at the time. More examples are being fired from work, finding out about a serious disease of your own or someone else close to you, breakups, various kinds of losses, circumstances happening to us against our will, and there's other UDIN perceptions. Perception is a key word here because a UDIN for one may not be a UDIN for another. So after a UDIN moment, we start running a program to solve a problem. This phase is called the stress phase or active phase. So in the active phase, our body adapts to this type of stress we are actually going through at the moment. The sympathetic nervous system is activated. We have a lot of energy, obsessively thinking about a problem, and we don't need much food. So for a fight or flight response, the body pumps up the blood to the muscles so we can combat the enemy or escape. For bigger pieces of food, the stomach acidity raises so we can digest our food quicker. However, our civilization got us used to perceiving the threat in a metaphorical sense. So we can use words in the language patterns such as I can't digest something, I can't process this information, etc. For any kind of conflict, there is a tissue corresponding. So with vital information that we weren't expecting, it's usually the digestive system that's affected. So for protection and integrity conflict, the inner layer of the skin is affected. Conflicts relating to feeling not good or strong enough to do something, they land in our musculoskeletal system. And territory and social conflicts land in our outer skin layer and some of the inner linings of our organs. The tissue adapts to help the owner combat the conflict. Some tissues increase their functionality while others decrease. It all depends on the kind of tissue and the type of conflict that we're experiencing. After some time of battling the problem, we usually find a solution. When we perceive that problem is gone, it feels like a big sigh, like a moment. It's a perception that everything is fine again. Someone that was supposed to sue you is not going to, or you thought you were going bankrupt, and a sudden surge of free money comes to you. The thing that was causing all the stress is not stressful anymore, and you can then recover. This is the time of restoration. Humans and all other beings are not designed to live in stress consistently and constantly. Additionally, what was used in the stress phase needs to be restored into balance. Overgrown cells are decomposed to normality, ulcerated tissues grow back to regular volume. With restoration, there's good news and bad news. Good news is that the stress phase is over. Bad news is that the restoration phase is what we are told to see as disease. So bacteria, virus and fungi are active, muscles can be in pain, certain parts of the body are inflamed and we have low energy to go on. Some might say that it shouldn't be called restoration. However, when I'm unwell, I remember not being able to do anything, literally nothing, both physically and mentally. That's what our bodies need from time to time. They need to recover from doing too much through the stress phase. This is like the getting sick after going on holiday example. How many times does that happen to us? After a period of being passive and resting, the body makes a shift into regenerating. Healing crisis is a change of the way the body is dealing with the issue. It's a shift of energy from restoration to normalization. It can also serve as a check if the problem still exists or is resolved. During healing crisis, the water stored around the affected tissues is released from the body. Tissues squeeze out the fluids in a sponge manner, often causing cramps, little seizures or twitches. We also jump into the active phase for a moment to find if the problem was resolved or not. So we jump up and down. After the healing crisis occurs within the normal recovery, we go into the normalization phase. Normalization is the second and the last part of the restoration phase. During the normalization, our body and mind balances itself towards normal health. During normalization phase, all the symptoms subside. So when compared to a flu, the normalization is the phase when we get our sense of humour and joy back. Even though we know that it's not yet finished, we also know the worst is over. After the normalization, optimally, we get back to health. So what can we use metamedicine for? The most important use is finding the perceptions linked to the ailments. Once an unexpected, dramatic, isolating, no strategy perception is found, it can be cleared with energy psychology protocols. This can be helpful for current issues, recurring ones, or the ones from the past. Once we collapse the symptoms by changing our perceptions, we can quickly restore ourselves to wellness. Metamedicine gives a lot of empowerment to people I work with. Once you find the cause of the problem, you can find the solution. Medicine recognises all kinds of symptoms without blaming the genetics for the cause of the problem. It also treats the organism, our body, as it should be treated, as an intelligent instrument of nature. It has the capability to recover itself. Medicine is based on many, many years of research and is one of the only attempts of the Western world to understand the cause of disease. It works with the problems neglected by medical modalities and is another proof of the body-mind-spirit connection. Your body holds much wisdom. It's time to listen to the wisdom and make the changes you need to find the wellness you deserve. Recognise when you're in a stress phase and incorporate methods and tools to bring that level down. Look for your triggers and heal the emotions underlying them. Change your perceptions and you will transform your life. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. Bye for now, and I wish you abundant health and wellness.